Hello everyone, GuardianE here with another live reaction and first impression video for Fire Emblem Heroes. Today, taking a look at the trailer reveal for the next set of seasonal units or special heroes to get dropped into the game in just a couple of days. So we have these silhouettes here on the left-hand side. I think the prevailing theory, the tease by Faye did mention the Day of the 12 festival, which again, I think the prevailing theory is that refers to the 12 Crusaders. So this could be a Thracia banner, could be a Genealogy banner, probably one of those at least, and it sounds like it's going to be themed based upon the 12 Crusaders, which obviously leads to the question of if it's going to actually be dancer themed as it has in the past. It might not. They could completely go in a different direction with it. Common guesses as to the silhouettes are Nana as the right silhouette. I do kind of see it with the hair ornament there. Besides that, it's very difficult to tell. On the left, common guesses I've seen have been Ranulf as well as Lewyn. I personally like the Lewyn guess a lot more than Ranulf. I think the ears and the fur that people are seeing is just the hat and the headdress. I don't think that's actually real beast ears. So I think Lewyn and Nana are actually pretty solid guesses, but I guess we'll go ahead and see. Before we jump into the trailer and watch it together for the first time, I will just remind you all that if you do enjoy the content that we put out, including Fire Emblem Heroes content, please consider subscribing to the channel so you get notified when we drop another video, and it really, really does help us out, so thank you. And with that, let's go ahead and jump into the trailer. All right, we have the trailer pulled up. Let us get started and get right into it. Okay. Those who pray for a peaceful future? Okay. Special heroes to battle. And that is going to include... Oh! Scion of Astra? That's not Nana. Not even a little bit. That's Larcei. That's not even a magical wand that people were expecting. That's a giant axe instead. Whirling Grace, Regnal Astra, of course. Speed Defense Solo. Frenzy 3. Okay. Huh. Baby Ira. Interesting. Scion of the Saint. Julia? What? Oh, I didn't even recognize her. That art threw me off. That... well, she's not going to be a 4-star... I saw the fewer skills, thought she might be the 4-star demote, but definitely not with those skills. And, okay, Wind Song Scion. Yeah, it is going to be Lewyn, blue tome infantry unit. He looks pretty spectacular. The art is fairly amazing. He could be a demote. That's possible. Alright, and then how are we ending things off? Destined Scions. Wow, okay. Yeah, that is going to be the pair of Leif and Seliph here. They are going to be a cavalry archer together. So Leif taking the lead here. Bow of 12. Nyorun Zeal. Attack speed catch 4. S-Drink. Okay, so got it. He's got his patented S-Drink. Huh. Curious. Survives with 1 HP. Is he going to have like a built-in miracle like Seliph? And that's going to be his Harmonized Skill. Alright. Resonance Blaze, Desperation. Yeah, we'll be taking a closer look at all of these skills and everything during a quick rewatch. Okay. Interesting. I'm with you. The art has a nice, like, almost comic book aesthetic. So, Scions of 12 is going to be the paralog story. Love those fabulous feathers that they have. Any surprises here? So, wait, that's Nana. I guess... Oh, did I make a mistake? Did I mix up the silhouettes? It's been a while. I haven't looked at the silhouettes, like, just recently. So, maybe Nana was this free silhouette, and I completely mixed that up. I'm sorry if I did. If that is, in fact, her, because I can't tell it by the chibi, but if it is her, then people were right, and I was wrong. So... That's pretty cool. So again, Scion of the 12 going to be starting on the 7th of September and going for essentially what is a full month until the 6th of October. And it does look like Lewyn is going to be the 4-star focus unit of the banner. Interesting. I think he had one of the push 4 skills. We'll go back and take a look, like I said, but that's a pretty good get at 4-star. he's going to have a pretty sizable rate as a Focus 4 and 5-star on the banner. So it does look like they're doing away with the Dancer theme for September, which I'm fine with that. I'm okay with them sort of rotating and mixing up the themes of seasonals. I don't quite completely get the theme just because I'm not familiar entirely with the Crusaders and how it fits in here. I'm sure we'll get a little blurb about it in the actual story segment, the paralogue story. But to that end, I'm not really fully invested in the theme of this seasonal banner. So I'm not like terribly excited at the theme. Like, I think they look fabulous in their outfits, but I'm not fully invested in the theme as it currently stands. And character-wise, I do like the character choices, but I'm not like huge fans of the character choices. So initial impressions, I'm honestly probably going to skip this banner for that reason and some other reasons that I'll list off towards the end of the video. But let's definitely take a closer look at the characters themselves and their skills and everything that they have to offer. So here is Larcei, her art done by Asatani Tomoyo. Fantastic job on it. She looks really cute. I like the outfit overall, like the big floofy hat, like the giant axe. Yeah, it comes together really well. The gentle lavenders look really nice. I like the soft fabric of the outfit. The leggingless design is really nice. And she is going to be an infantry axe user. Let's take a look at her skills now. So Whirling Grace is going to be a unique axe for her 16 might, accelerates special trigger, so it has a killer slaying effect. At start of combat, if unit's HP is above or equal to 25%, grants +5 to all stats, and neutralizes effects that guarantee foes follow-up attacks, and effects that prevent units' follow-up attacks during combat. And also, if unit speed is greater than foe speed during combat, neutralizes penalties that inflict special cooldown charge -1, so a guard effect on unit during combat. That's pretty solid. And they've been really pushing this whole thing of like resetting the skills that either guarantee or neutralize follow-up attacks to really let the speed talk. I do appreciate that because I think in recent years we've walked away from speed being an important stat, and I like that they're bringing more relevance to that stat. So super solid all around. Killer slaying effect is very good. HP greater than or equal to 25% as the condition is incredibly easy to meet for a +5 to all stats, which is very strong, and the guaranteeing and neutralization of follow-up attacks, or neutralizing of the preventing of follow-up attacks, all very good things. Then having the whole speed component, she's obviously going to be very speedy as being an Ira, Larcei, Myrmidon character. So she's going to have really high speed, and that is going to allow her to basically guarantee her special charge as well, which is great because, of course, she has her own unique special, right? So Regnal Astra is going to be her special, boosts damage by 40% of unit speed. Excellent special, always has been. Speed Defense Solo 4 for the A slot is kind of interesting. I mean, that's going to increase both her tankiness and her speed. She's going to rely on her speed. Maybe she doesn't really need the damage boost based upon the fact that she's going to be proccing that Regnal Astra so often. The fact that it's a solo skill is sort of odd. She's an infantry. Solo skills are often kind of tacked on to cavalry. Don't really see a ton of synergy with this, but this is an opportunity to introduce Speed Defense Solo 4 into the game. So I do understand it from that perspective, and it certainly does work with her. So Frenzy 3 for the B slot. If unit speed is greater than foe speed, reduces damage from attacks during combat and from AoE specials by percentage equal to the difference between the stats times 4. So a max of 40% damage reduction, and if unit's HP is less than or equal to 50% and unit initiates combat, unit can make a follow-up attack before foe can counterattack. That is, of course, a soft desperation or a pseudo-desperation effect. So Frenzy is pretty fantastic, especially for high-speed characters. That damage reduction is going to allow her to more safely enter the equal to or below 50% range, increase her survivability as a whole regardless, and then once she is in that desperation range, she's going to wreak some havoc. Joint Drive Attack for the C slot grants attack +4 to allies within 2 spaces during combat. If unit is within 2 spaces of an ally, grants attack +4 to unit during combat. Yeah, no, I think that's definitely a very powerful C slot support skill, and also provides her with an in-combat buff as well. Overall, I think her kit is really solid, and it's interesting that she's an axe user, but she's bringing sort of the Myrmidon kit to axes, because all of this is basically very in line with what you would expect for a speedy offensive sword unit. She's going to be wielding an axe, so that is going to help her with that sort of niche that she's going to fit into. So she's gonna do great work for sure. There's no doubt in my mind. So let's see what her attacking art is going to be. This is actually her special art, and this is her swinging for the fences. Don't treat me like a child. I like the axe effect, the cape flying up behind her, the sparkles all around. Really, really nice effect there. And I do, of course, like the kind of the raining energy from the heavens. So Scion of the Saint, this was surprising to me because the art is beautiful, but I didn't recognize her as Julia. I think it's just because it's a more sort of mature look for her in general. She looks fantastic here. I like how the robes fit around her form and her figure. It's very, very flattering. Shoulder pads are really nice, like the big floofy hat, like the little butterfly that's above her book there as well. And again, she has sort of this wistful, mature look that I really appreciate as well. So she's going to be a flying red tome user, and I think this completes Julia Emblem, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, Julia fans rejoice. Flying red tome user. Luminous Grace Plus. So she's actually not going to have a unique weapon. This is inheritable. At start of turn, restores 10 HP. It has a built-in renewal. Actually, no, better than renewal. It's like a built-in renewal plus. At start of combat, if unit's HP is greater than or equal to 25%, grants attack speed plus 5 to unit during combat. Really? Huh. That's actually pretty good. Yeah, it's like a pseudo push skill built into the weapon without the damage chip at the end. And then she heals at the start of every turn. That's not bad. That as an option for an inheritable tome, that's really not bad, especially for certain units. So Rally Speed Res Plus grants Speed Res plus 6 to target ally for 1 turn. That's fine. Attack Speed Push 4. Okay, at start of combat, if unit's HP is greater than or equal to 25%, grants attack speed plus 7, and then she takes 5 damage after if she attacked. So yeah, the push 4 skills I think are excellent, and they synergize perfectly with the fact that she has Luminous Grace Plus that heals her every single turn. Light and Dark for the B slot inflicts -2 on all stats on foe during combat, neutralizes foes' bonuses, and disables foes' skills, the adaptive damage. So neutralizes adaptive damage, so she can take on dragons. She's probably going to have a monster res stats, as Julia tends to have. So she's going to enjoy that, be able to tank dragons from a distance, and then neutralizes foes' bonuses, so any activated buffs on the opponent, she's going to be able to straight up neutralize them and give them a -2 debuff on all of their stats. Pretty solid, and that is going to cement her as being able to handily take on dragons. So she is going to be a Julia without dragon effectiveness, which is interesting. But I do like that tome. I think that tome is an interesting balance. Not like straight offense. It works on both phases, of course. And then here's her attacking art. Really graceful and beautiful. She's actually a lot taller, has a longer body line than I had expected. But I do like the ribbons kind of flowing off of her cape, the tapestries, her hair flying back. Really, really pretty. And then the soft white and gray shadings of her robes comes together. Okay, so up next we've got Lewyn, who I think honestly looks pretty amazing art-wise. I think Lewyn fans are going to be really, really pleased with this because I think he looks fantastic. I mean, just the vibrancy of the colors and the green hair and the sort of the shawl and the scarf. His book, the tome he's wielding looks really, really ornate. And he has the crown with the fur. Again, I'm not entirely in touch with the Crusader lore, so I don't really know. It seems like they all have floofy hats. Which I thought was pretty cute on Larcei. I don't know, on Lewyn, I think he might look better without the fur, to be honest with you. But the art looks fantastic either way. I mean, again, I think the blue tunic with the green, really detailed with the folds of the cloth and everything, really nice. So just as a reminder, he is going to be the 4-star demote, and he is going to be a Blue Tome infantry user. So Drifting Grace Plus, 12 Might, it's going to be the same weapon as Julia's here. So we don't have to go over that again. I think there's some good potential with this tome. It's actually pretty good inheritance fodder to have some versatility to a designated Blue Tome user that you're wielding, that you're using. Luna for the special, that's fine. Attack res solo 3, excuse me. So I did make a mistake. I mixed up the Julia's push 4 skill with Lewyn's A-slot skill. So we are going to have access to attack res solo 3 as a 4-star, which is fine. Infantry flash 3. So we are going to have access to infantry flash 3 as a 4-star as well. So infantry allies within 2 spaces gain. If unit speed is greater than foe speed, grant special cooldown charge +1 per unit's attack. So that is going to work exceedingly well with Larcei. She is going to be able to take advantage of that because I have no doubt that she is going to be a very, very speedy infantry unit. But otherwise, nothing groundbreaking here, nothing exceptional. He is a 4-star hero, so he is going to be a relatively easy merge fodder and skill fodder if you do want to build him up. Like I said, I think his art is great, so I think Lewyn fans should be appreciative of that. When you have a 4-star demote of your favorite character, it's a double-edged sword. He's going to be an easy merge project, but he's also not going to have like the best, you know, unique stuff. All of his stuff is inheritable, but he comes with a pretty nice tome, I have to say, and the solo skill is fine. Infantry flash is useful. Or special art, I should say. There he is. Yeah, I mean, look at him. Look at all those sparkles linged out. He looks great. But yeah, Wind Guide Me. I have to say, similar to Julia, he feels a lot taller and more mature. Like, this is a more mature variation of him. At least from an art perspective. And I think it does well. It suits him, for sure. So there he goes with that wind slash effect. And then, of course, here we have the harmonic. So the Destined Scions. And we'll take a look at their art here. So they, of course, are going to be the pair of Leif and Seliph as a cavalry archer. For Leif, I feel like they could have diversified his movement slash weapon type a little bit, since it is exactly the same as his legendary version. But it's certainly fitting, but again, I think they could have diversified a little bit. Like I said before, I do get a little bit of a comic booky aesthetic from the art itself. Really detailed, love the ornate armor, but it does have, again, these vivid colors, kind of dramatic shadows, and dark, thick lines around the art that give it a little bit of a comic book appeal, I feel. But obviously they're paired together. We've got Leif rocking the red, and we got Seliph rocking the blue, and naturally put them together, you get that nice contrast between them. They both have these really frou-frou kind of feathers sticking out of their crowns. I guess it gives them a little bit of fantastical, high-class appeal. Obviously, I think it's a callback to the Crusader theme that we're seeing, which I'm not familiar with. So let's take a look at their kit. Bow of 12, 14 might bow. It's going to be effective against flying units, of course. It's going to have Kanto 1, which does mean that they're going to have a Kanto. They're going to be ranged and have a Kanto of 1 no matter what. It's not a remainder effect. Accelerate special trigger, so a killer slaying effect, effective against flying foes. If unit initiates combat, or if unit's HP is equal to or greater than 75% at start of combat, and foe uses magic or staff, grants +5 to all stats to unit during combat. And also, if unit's HP is greater than 1, and foe would reduce a unit's HP to 0, unit survives with 1 HP. Interesting. So overall, some really fun, powerful effects built into this weapon. One thing that I kind of have an issue with is the fact that he only gets a stat boost against ranged units. I feel like that's an unnecessary limitation. For, you know, if they were concerned about the balancing, they could have like reduced the HP condition, for example, if they were, again, really concerned about that. But I feel like having +5 to all stats against all units when they're player phasing makes a lot more sense. But anyway, that aside, they have a killer slaying effect, they have Kanto built in, and they have a miracle built in from the Seliph component. I mean, that is all very, very good, even outside of the +5 to all stats. And maybe that's what they were hedging or worried about, was that they just have too many effects going on in addition to the +5 stat boosts. Mjorun's Seal for the special, if unit initiates combat, grants another action to unit after combat once per turn, and when special triggers, inflicts restricts movement to one space on unit and pair up cohort through their next action. So as we all know, this is basically a ranged Gale Force with a built-in gravity effect afterwards. And this is actually going to work really well with the Kanto on Bow of 12. The Gale Force, or the Mjorun's Zeal, is going to apply first, letting them move once and take an action, and then the Kanto is going to take an effect, where they'll be able to move one additional space. So they'll effectively be able to move 2 spaces, so long as they actually do an action after Mjorun's Zeal, and they don't just move 1 space. For the A slot, attack speed, catch 4. The catch 4 skills are alright. I think they're pretty decent. You get +7 to attack and speed, at least, as long as you have one of the conditions. You have potential to get to +9 to attack and speed if you have both of the conditions. Those 2 conditions being the foe's HP is 100%, or if penalty is active on foe. The issue I have with the catch skills is that it's contingent upon the opponent, because you're not going to inflict penalties on yourself, and you don't necessarily have control of the opponent's HP being at 100%. So I don't really like that element of it, but the buffs themselves are solid. S strength for the B slot at start of turn 1 restores 99 HP and grants special cooldown count -1. The 99 HP is negligible except for things like Tempest Trials. The cooldown count, though, is certainly not negligible. So that is certainly going to help because Bow of 12 has a built-in killer slaying effect. S-Drink will also grant a -1 cooldown. So Neurone Zeal is going to have a 1-turn cooldown on turn 1, which means that on his first initiation, barring any potential guard effects or anything of that nature, they are going to proc Neurone Zeal on their first initiation. Pulse Smoke 3 for the C slot, inflict special cooldown count +1 on target and foes within 2 spaces of target after combat. Which is certainly a solid B slot skill. So very interesting. I think they have a unique combination of all-out offensive skills as well as a great deal of survivability with the Seliph component to this. In addition to the Kanto and Gale Force combination as well, they have increased mobility in that respect. So they've got a lot of things going for them. They're definitely going to be very powerful. We haven't even taken a look at the Harmonic Skill, but you essentially have a lot of the components of Legendary Leif built in with Seliph here, the best parts of them, arguably, and with updated stats and an updated stat line. So that's definitely not anything to scoff at. I think they're going to work exceptionally well. Let's take a look at their attacking animation. And here we are. Seliph actually looks really cool with the dagger there. That is a giant dagger. Now that's a knife. He's got a huge dagger. Thing's enormous. And then you've got a Leif in the back with that bow. It's the first chance we really have a great look at the bow as he's taking aim there. It's got a nice wing feather effect. Otherwise, relatively simple in design. Yeah, looks good. There they go. They're gonna be able to tank this without any problem. And then this is their damaged art. I like the fact that Leif is almost using the bow as a shield here. Pretty nice. And they're going to retaliate and take him out. And then activate the Neurone Zeal, which of course is going to give them an additional move, an additional action. Okay, so we're going to take a look at their Harmonized Skill here, which is of course going to affect Genealogy and Thracia units. Grants the following effects to unit and allies from the same titles as unit for 1 turn. Resonance, Blades, Desperation, and if unit initiates combat, unit makes a guaranteed follow-up attack. That's like everything you want for an offensive unit. It's like just anything you could want for an offensive unit. Here, have everything. Have the combo platter. Resonance Blades is attack speed +4. It's like a unique buff to give attack speed +4 during combat that stacks on other activated buffs. Desperation, unit initiates combat, makes a follow-up attack before the enemy can counterattack, and also guarantees a follow-up attack. I mean, you can't ask for much more. That's actually an excellent Harmonized Skill for player phase units and other player phase Thracia and Genealogy units in alongside them, and they're going to get that bonus as well, of course. So that's very, very strong. So starting on the 7th of September, once again, Scions of the 12, even color distribution here. And I gotta say, I think the duo, the Harmonic units, are going to be pretty darn potent and pretty darn strong. I think they are going to be sort of the premier units on this banner, as the duo often is. That's really no great surprise. I think coming up second is probably actually going to be Larcei. I think she just has a lot of great offensive capabilities as an infantry axe user, and I think that's going to suit her very, very well. I think Julia comes in close there, but her having not a unique weapon or tome really kind of sets her back a little bit. But she does have even her own unique special, or excuse me, B-slot skill, which is going to be helpful for her. And then bringing up the rear is Lewyn. As a 4-star unit, he's going to be a great merge project. I think his tome is actually pretty great too. If people want to go in and get that tome, this is actually going to be a pretty great chance to get it as a 4-star unit or a 4-star focus unit. That rate up is pretty significant, so wouldn't blame people for going in for that. And his art is pretty fantastic, I have to say. For me personally, like I said, I don't have a huge vested interest in this theme. It just doesn't interest me that much. I do like some of the characters here, but honestly, I don't think I'm going to be pulling on this banner. I'm just going to be doing the poverty pulls for a couple of reasons. There's that, I'm not huge diehard fans of these characters. So there's that consideration, but there's also the fact that I'm going to have to summon on the double special hero banner for Pirate Hinoka and Camilla, who's green. And they are going to be paired with whoever is green on this banner, and that happens to be Larcei. So, if I were to go in on this banner, I would probably go in for Julia and Larcei, and if that's the case, then I'm probably going to be getting a Larcei when summoning on the double special hero banner. Would be nice to get a Julia. Hopefully, maybe I can get her on a free summon. Who knows? But, you know, I'm not going to kill myself over it. And so that's probably why I'm probably going to ultimately skip this banner. But let me know in the comments below if you're excited for this banner. If you're excited for the theme, I'm curious to see how many people are actually excited for this theme. You know, the characters notwithstanding, I wonder if people are really excited for the theme itself. But let me know in the comments below. Hopefully you all enjoyed the video. If you did, please feel free to leave us a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more Fire Emblem Heroes content. We thank you all so much for watching and for taking time out of your day to spend with us. We really do appreciate it. Certainly hoping you're all staying safe, healthy, secure, and united out there, and wishing the very, very best for you, your family, and your friends. And until next time, let's protect those skies.